Good morning. This is Samuel Jacob Kirschner, voice of the breeze, welcoming you to our Friday morning meditation hangout. I'm still transitioning from my trip to Berlin. I've been back for about 4 days, and yeah, I'm still feeling not just jet lag wise, but I'm still feeling the cultural difference and just being in such a different place. New York, Berlin, so much they have in common, but it's really it's 4,000 miles away. So the way it's been affecting me, this transition, is other than the obvious jet lag and all that stuff, it's really trying to find a place for myself uh, with what I just have experienced, um, trying to bring it together and to integrate it. Some of my experience there was very deep. I worked with refugees, Middle Eastern refugees, and I also got in touch with the refugee part in me that was born in Germany and that I don't really consciously much remember because I was there for about a year and a half. And yet there was a strong imprint that my birth there had on me, and I knew that I was going to get in touch with it somewhat, but I didn't, of course, know the extent of it. I thought that I was going to go back to the literal place of my birth. But then I really didn't need to, because I had two very strong experiences there in Berlin. One was with a Syrian child of about 5 or 6 years old who joined our activities and impacted me so strongly, mainly because of his joy. There was a joy that he had that was so generous and out. And in spite of the circumstances, that joy was so felt and prominent. And it got me in touch with my joy as a child. A joy that many times I thought, died, but it really didn't. And it's that heart in me that I find to be my resilience, the resilient child. And so, and then I had a very deep experience at the Holocaust Monument, which is really a series of grave-like sculptures, all sizes, but all gray, very powerful. And I just felt like I needed to touch it. It's like I wanted to touch that part of myself that I often deem lost, the lost part of my soul. And I feel that I have touched on that. I didn't need to go back to the place of my birth, which was a 2-hour train away from Berlin. Rather, nature wanted me to go to bed for almost a day and a half on the weekend. I just felt this exhaustion and something was purging through me. And all I could do was just lay in bed and just be. Um, and in some interesting way. It was very healing. Um, I don't feel the same. I don't feel quite the same. Um, so I am particularly now focusing on the whole idea of touching our lives, not just being in our heads about it, but really touching our lives, having a visceral experience of who we are and welcoming it. Of course, it's easier said than done because some of these places, the lost places in us that we are asked to touch, are not easy to touch. There's a crust there that is, it's filled with stress and post-traumatic stress, and it's scary and it's unpleasant and it's painful. So in a sense, I feel that I have been prepared to touch the lost part of my soul because of my meditation training and practice. And my meditation training and practice is all about paying attention. Paying attention in a way in which you become love. And this paying of attention, I have discovered, for me, has to go through the breath. The breath has that quality that it brings into our paying attention, in which it facilitates the paying of attention. And anyway, attention in Hebrew really means placing the heart, literally, placing the heart, lasim lev. And so in this paying attention, we need to breathe, open the heart, let go, and be love. And when we demonstrate that, children get it by osmosis. Pets, animals get it by osmosis. People get it by osmosis. It does not require a whole lot of talking. I, of course, cannot not address the last debate. At this point in this last debate, I was really looking at the debate from this perspective of paying attention and how just being a human being, we can't but have that attribute of whatever is being said to us, examining it somehow with that mechanism of, I would call, of course, intuition, which to me is a combination of breath and heart, of paying attention. Sometimes we want to believe certain things that are being said to us, but eventually the winner is, in all debates, really, is that which is undebatable, unarguable, bodily expressions, the truth that's being exuded through our energy. Of course, we also have a lot of challenges in our own trauma with perception. Uh, and so that's why it is so important to develop a practice that keeps examining and challenging our perception, especially the perception that is wired in us like a knee jerk reaction. But ultimately, you can say to a child, I love you, I love you, I love you. If the child does not feel the love, it only sounds like noise. Remember yourself as a child. How many times did you listen to adults speak about things and thought to yourself, what the hell are they talking about? You knew the truth, that they were trying somehow to explain, negotiate, defend, interpret. Because there is something in the innocence of a child, in that open-heartedness, that natural open-heartedness, the pureness of heart that knows the truth. We don't have all the word and the language that comes later, but we know the truth, and at the same time we are also abused. The biggest abuse there is, in my opinion, is the abuse of reality, the abuse of the truth. When you tell a child, you know, having sex with you is good for you, and you really distort their reality. Because something in them knows, knows the truth about that. And so, behind the nature of all abuse and trauma, there is that screwing with reality, telling you something that somebody wants you to believe in, but you don't really believe inside. I need to do this often. I need to, even when I'm speaking, I felt I was speaking now from my unarguable truth. I wasn't really thinking about what I was saying. I still need every so often to take a breath break, to slow down this and to go into my heart, open my heart, pay attention, let go, breathe out, and see what is happening now in the moment with a more fresh, more authentic outlook. So let's pay attention for the next 12 minutes. I mean, hopefully for the rest of life, but I'd like to guide you in a meditation, the 5 steps of the breeze, and address just paying attention, opening the heart, placing the heart, and breathing, and being love, which is today my definition of attention. So if you will just make sure that for the next 12 minutes you can not be disturbed, and be able to participate even if you are sitting on a bus, which I know some people who are listening to this are. um, make make a decision to take care of yourself, to take this time for you, and to not be distracted as much as you can, of course. And just listen to the instructions that I will give and will participate as well with you. So pay attention to your breathing. Notice your breathing in and your breathing out. Feel the air brushing your nostrils as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Notice if you feel any struggle in your breath. And slow the breath down. At the point where you feel the struggle, stop there and don't push any further. On the inhale and on the exhale. Breathe. Open your heart. Let go. Find a way of breathing with ease. And start shaking. A very slight, almost like a micro movement kind of shake. Try to emanate the shake from your diaphragm and invite your whole body to shake with you. If you are in a circumstance in which you cannot really shake all the way, you can just visualize it. The main thing is to keep paying attention that as you shake and awake, that you don't struggle with the breath, that you are doing it from the ease of your breath. If you have any places in your body that are a little achy or strained, you want to do the shaking from there, or include those places as you continue to breathe. Open your heart and let go of struggle and resistance. awareness. Now, let's join the second step, which is flowing like a river and letting go. Allow the body spontaneously to move and flow to the music and to the pace of your breath, so that you become one with the breath and one with the music. Like a river, letting go of control and of any way of looking good or trying to do it in any way other than just flowing spontaneously and moving to the third step, standing like a tree. If you're in a position of standing that you can stand, you can actually bend your knees, put your spine in a straight but not rigid position, and open your hands. And as you breathe, open your heart with compassion to yourself and to your challenges. To the tightness and the constrictions in your body. And let the breath soften and relax these places in your body. Continue to breathe with ease. Let go. Open your heart. And be love. And place your right hand on your heart and your left hand on your belly. And start walking like an elephant with grace. So walk in love. How would you be walking if you were love? Keep breathing and opening your heart, letting go and being love. And dance and celebrate the simple joy of being alive now. Be one with the breath and express your gratitude and simple joy of being alive like a child. The joy you were born with. There is nothing that's standing in your way right now from expressing that joy. So, how do you feel right now? Where is your attention? If you are like me, and I'm sure a little bit of that is in everyone, there is sometimes when doing things of this nature, as an adult, there is sometimes a little embarrassment. And the embarrassment or the doubt that comes up is, am I worthy of, in the middle of my busy life, I'm an adult, I'm responsible, I have a lot of things to do, or I I don't really feel I don't really feel that that joy that I was born with, that you're telling me that I was born with, I don't even feel it. Well, I have lost it many, many times. Many times. And I keep finding it because it's there. I don't think it ever goes away. I don't think it ever dies. It sometimes temporarily dies. It gets murdered. Right as we are speaking, I am sure there are situations in the world in which the joy of the soul is getting murdered. And I believe profoundly, and I experience that time and again, that we can find it. And there is nothing more precious than finding that joy that we were born with of our original selves. So it's time to say goodbye, but not to the joy. This is Samuel Jacob Kirschner, voice of the breeze, wishing you a day filled with joy, oxygen, and ease.